Seems that the tech industry has kind of moved on from virtual reality to the future being augmented reality, and really some very similar looking glasses that have come out in the past couple of weeks from Meta Platforms and Snap. Now, these are two companies that have been doing battle in social networking, but really the future of their battle is going to be in augmented reality and in the glasses that both of these companies have made. And I think it's worth going over what the strategy is and what's actually going to be released from these two companies, because in a lot of ways, Snap is a little bit ahead of Meta Platforms. Now, with that being said, Meta Platforms definitely has a bigger balance sheet, more money to spend on developing better technology. So long term, that may be where the industry is headed. But for now, I think Snap holds a really interesting place. So let's dig into this today. My name is Travis Hoium. Thanks for watching Asymmetric Investing. Please subscribe here on YouTube for all my content. And thanks to this video sponsor, The Motley Fool. If you go to fool.com/ASYM, they'll give you their top 10 stocks to buy right now. Let's first start with what Meta announced. One of the things I think is interesting about Meta's announcements today is the company actually announced Meta Quest 3S, a lower price point for the Meta Quest headset, but there weren't a lot of major advancements in that headset. What got a lot more attention was the Orion Augmented Reality glasses. I'm going to show a few images here, but the big takeaway here is that Meta is trying to combine their metaverse work, so everything they've done with VR and AR, with some of their artificial intelligence work. This image here shows the glasses themselves, which actually connect to this little puck that offloads some of the computing data, so it doesn't need to be on the glasses. And then there is this little wristband, looks a little bit like a watch. And that's from technology they acquired with Control Lab. They acquired that in 2019, and that allows you to use hand gestures to be able to control this device. So instead of looking at your hands the way that they do with some of the controls in the VR glasses, now you're just going to be able to use your hand, and it's going to sense through your wrist exactly what your hand is doing. Really interesting technology. A lot of ways this could go in the future. But what's interesting about this product is it's not released yet. This is a prototype. They've made about 1,000 of these, and they're not going to be releasing this to the public. So why are they doing this now? Part of the reason is Snap introduced their spectacles, and these are going to be going out at least to developers in the near future. $100 a month with a 12-month commitment is going to get you a pair of these glasses. They look a little bit more gaudy than the Meta glasses, but they are going to be in developers' hands and theoretically in customers' hands relatively soon. And what I think is interesting here from an ecosystem standpoint is, what are developers getting charged? This is one of the things that Meta got in a lot of trouble with developers when they had some of their early plans for the metaverse. There was going to be the 30% fee, and then there was going to be other fees on top of that. I think it all added up to about 46% of the revenue that somebody would spend in the metaverse would actually go to the creator. What Snap has done is they have drawn a line here. They have said, to start, we're going to introduce spectacles with no developer tax and launching new ways to build and share lenses. If they're able to get spectacles into a lot of people's hands, the upside for developers could be higher with Snap than it is with Meta. And remember, Meta's glasses are not available yet. So all of this is moving forward extremely quickly. And what we're going to have to see is, can Snap build an actual ecosystem? It's a little bit lower end device than what Meta showed today, but can they build that ecosystem before Meta can get its products off the ground? It's going to be a really tall task for Snap, but at least there's some competition for Meta in this arena. Thanks to our friends at The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/ASYM for the top 10 stocks to buy right now. One of the reasons I think this new technology is so interesting is this is really the first time in the last decade that we've seen companies try to break free of the traditional ecosystem that we have with smartphones. Apple and the Android ecosystem are really what has powered a lot of technology over the past 10 to 15 years. Now we're starting to see these bigger companies say, you know what, we want to develop a new piece of hardware, a new piece of technology, but we don't want to tie it to those existing ecosystems because of the restrictions that a company like Apple has in particular, and the fees that they have. Anything that Snap or Meta wants to sell on these headsets, if they're tied to the Apple ecosystem, they have to pay a 30% fee to Apple. They're just saying, we're not going to do that. We're going to create our own operating system, our own ecosystem, our own developer ecosystem, and try to have something entirely new. That is what's really interesting about both of these things. So is this the kind of thing where in 5 to 10 years, we're going to be wearing glasses, there's going to be a Meta ecosystem and a Snap ecosystem, and you can interact with digital things all over the world. You can play games. They showed browsing websites, interacting with artificial intelligence to potentially do work or have conversations. All of these things are potentially possible. And what this could be is a moment a little bit like a very, very early iPhone. If you remember back to the early iPhones, those did not have an app store. They had very few apps. You could access the web. There was a weather app. There was YouTube, but there was not a lot of things that you could do with that device. What made Apple so valuable over the next decade was continual improvement on that piece of technology, on the device that they were building with the iPhone. Does the same thing happen? We have seen over the past 5 years that Snap has improved their spectacles year after year after year. This generation spectacle seems to be a bit of an inflection point because it's a much better product, has a much wider field of view, 46-degree field of view. There's actually 3D holograms. They have a plan for building the developer ecosystem. It's a piece of hardware that isn't tied to anything. That's a really compelling product. And if they can get it into the field with a reasonable price point, that is going to be a potentially interesting ecosystem for them to build. Meta, on the other hand, has the built-in advantage of multiple billions of users using their traditional products. They have a massive balance sheet, spending tens of billions of dollars per year on the metaverse and all this artificial intelligence, virtual reality, AR technology behind it. That gives them a lot of head start over a company like Snap, but it also weighs them down. We haven't seen a lot of details about this Orion product, but most of their products, in particular those VR headsets, force you to sign in with a Facebook account. If everything that comes with Facebook is going to come with these new devices, that's going to really hamstring the technology and the adoption. So where do we go from here? I don't think we know quite yet. And Snap at least has something that should be in customers' hands relatively soon. Meta has a really, really compelling product. I'm really interested to see what these AR glasses look like, but they're not selling it anytime soon. And as far as I know, we don't have a timeline yet. So for now, in augmented reality, the leader could be Snap. And I think that's a really surprising position given the resources that Meta has put into this technology. But very exciting to see everything that is moving forward with AR over the past couple of years. Is this the kind of thing that you would buy? Are you interested in either of these companies because of their AI developments? Let me know in the comments section below. I'm curious to hear what you think because this is the kind of thing that's been coming for a very long time. We've seen the groundwork, we've seen seeds being sowed. Now we're actually starting to see some real products, and I think they'll be getting a lot better over the next few years. Well, leave your comments in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe to Asymmetric Investing. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you here next time.